Okay, guys, so welcome everyone. Sagancha Swagata. Welcome to Sadarva classes. Next lesson we are going to start is the a crow in the
Sorry, sir, join
house.
नव्हतो.
No problem. There is always some issue in joining. No problem. Now, everybody, please pay attention. Look at the screen. There is a crow in the house, and let's see what is happening and what are the situation when what is the situation when such a kind of thing happens in a house. The young crow had fallen from its nest and was fluttering about on the road in the danger of being crushed by a cart or a tanga, okay, or seized by a cat when I picked it up and brought it home. So a crow is brought to the house. Okay, it was brought to its home. It was in a sorry condition. It was in a sorry condition, beak gaping, head dropping, and we did not expect it to live. Okay, we did not expect it to live. So जगेल की नाही याची आशा आम्ही समजून गेलेली होती. But grandfather and I did our best to bring it round. We fed it by pressing its beak gently open with a pencil, pushing in a little bread and milk, and then removing the pencil to allow it to swallow. We varied this diet with occasional doses of grandmother's homemade plum wine, and as a result, the young crow was soon on the road to recovery. Right? त्यामुळे आम्ही प्रयत्न केला आणि तो जो कावळा होता तो आता हळूहळू रिकवर व्हायला लागलेला होता. So next what happened? Let's see, guys. He was offered his freedom, but he did not take it. Okay, त्याला वाटलं की त्याला सांगितलं तू निघून जातो तुझ्यात, पण तो बिचारा गेला नाही. Instead, he made himself at home in the house. त्याने आमचं घरच स्वतःचं घर बनवून घेतलं. Grandmother, Aunt Mabel or Mabel जे असेल ते, and even some of the grandfathers pet objected, but there was no way of getting rid of the bird. He took over the administration of the house. सगळ्यांनी त्याला विरोध केला, अपोज केलं. आजी पण म्हणाली नको कावळा घरामध्ये. देन काही आजोबांचे काही पेट्स होते, पाळीव प्राणी, त्यांनी सुद्धा विरोध केला. बट ही वॉज नॉट ऑल्सो, बट देर वॉज नो वे. त्याचा सुटकारा त्याच्यातून कोणाला त्याच्यापासून कोणाला म्हणतात ना, तो होताच तो बाहेर गेलाच नाही, तो राहिला तिथे. अँड ही टूक ओव्हर द ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ द हाऊस. वी वर नॉट शुअर दॅट ही वॉज मेल, बट वी कॉल हिम सीझर. काय म्हटलं आम्ही त्याला? सीझर. आम्हाला माहित नव्हतं तो मेल आहे का फिमेल आहे, बट वी कॉल हिम ॲज अ सीझर. Before long, Caesar was joining us at meal times. Besides finding his own grubs or beetles in the garden, he danced about on the dining table like this and gave us no peace until he had been given his small bowl of meat and soup and vegetables. He was always restless, forgetting about investigating things. He would have hopped across a table to empty a matchbox of its content, or rip a daily paper of shreds, or what, guys, or overturn. See, you can see a picture here, or overturn a vase of flowers, or tug of tails and a tail of one of the dogs. That crow will be the ruin of us. कोण म्हणाल? आजी म्हणाली. Picking marigolds off the carpet, can't you keep him in a cage? त्याला कशामध्ये ठेवा? केज मध्ये ठेवा, असं तुम्हाला आजी म्हणाली. We did try keeping Caesar in the cage. Okay, we did try keeping Caesar in a cage, but he was so angry and objected with such a fierce calling and flapping that it was better for our nerves and peace of mind to give him the run of the house. Give him a run of the house. He did not show any inclination to join the other crows in the banyan tree. Grandfather said this was because he was really a jungle crow, a raven of sorts, and probably felt a little contemptuous of very ordinary carrion crows. But it seemed to me that Caesar, having grown used to living with humans on equal terms, had become snobbish and did not wish to mix with his own kind. He would even squabble with Horald the Hornbill. Next, perching on the top of the Horad's cage, he would peck the big pick at the big bird's feet, whereupon Harold would swear and scold and try to catch Caesar through the bars. In time, Caesar learned to talk a little as Raman sometimes do in a throaty voice. He would sit for hours outside the window, banging on the glass with his beak and calling hello, hello. He seemed to recognize the click of the gate when I came home from school and would come to the door with a hop, skip, and jump, saying hello, hello. I had also taught him to sit on my arm and say kiss kiss while he placed his head gently against my mouth. So त्याला एवढ्या सर्व गोष्टी त्यांनी शिकवायला सुरुवात केलेली होती. On one day, on one of Aunt Mabel's visits, Caesar alighted on her arm and cackled kiss kiss. Aunt Mabel was delighted and possibly flattered and leaned forward for a kiss. But Caesar's attention shifted to my aunt's gleaming spectacles and thrashing at them with his beak, he knocked them off. Aunt Mabel never was a success with her pet. Pet or pest, grandmother insisted that Caesar was a pest in spite of his engaging habits if he had restricted his activities to our own house. It would have not been so bad, but he took to visiting neighboring houses and stealing pens, pencils, hair ribbons, combs, keys, shuttlecocks, toothbrushes, and false teeth. He was especially fond of toothbrushes. लोकांचे शेजारचे toothbrushes सगळे घेऊन आला तो and made a collection of them on the top of a cupboard in my room. बघा हा कपाट आहे कपाटाच्या सर्व त्या ठिकाणी जमा केलेल्या होत्या. Most of the neighbors were represented in our house by a toothbrush. Toothbrush sales went up that year. So did grandmothers. So did the grandmothers. What? Blood pressure. Caesar spied on children going into Bania's shop and often managed to snatch sweets from them as they came out. Clothes pegs fascinated him. Neighbors would return from bazaar to find their washing laying in the mud, but and no sign of the pegs. These two found their way to the top of my cupboard. It was Caesar's gardening activities that finally led to disaster. He was helping himself to our neighbor's beans when a stick was flung at him, breaking his leg. I carried the unfortunate bird home, and grandfather and I washed and bandaged his leg as best we could. But it would not mend. It would not mend. Caesar hung his head. Caesar, what happened? Caesar hung his head and no longer talked. He grew weaker day by day. Okay, slowly he grew weaker day by day, refusing to eat. An occasional sip of grandmother's homemade wine was all that kept him going. One morning, I found him dead on the sofa, his legs stiff in the air. Poor Caesar, his antisocial habits had led to his early end. तो अँटी होता, लोकांना त्रास होता म्हणून बिचाऱ्यावर लवकर अशी वेळ आलेली होती. I dug a shallow grave in the garden and buried him there, along with all the toothbrushes and clothes pegs he had taken so much trouble to collect. So it was written by Ruskin Bond and from the grandfather's private zoo. It was a story taken from the grandfather's private zoo, written by Ruskin Bond.